Hi, Monica Fernandes with Evolution Essentials. In this video, we're going to be covering Reiki for stress management. And you may be thinking, what is Reiki? I'm going to go over what Reiki is, who invented it, and also explain to you why it's so amazing for stress management and what the side effects are. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, welcome. So what is Reiki? First of all, let's cover that. Reiki is a Japanese word, and we usually describe Reiki as a hands-on energy healing technique. It's actually a spiritual healing art with its roots in Japan. The words Reiki are formed from the Japanese word rei, which means universal life, and ki, which means energy. So really, it's universal life energy or universal life force that we're talking about. And it's not affiliated with any religion or any type of religious practice. So even if you are only spiritual, it's okay to do Reiki. It doesn't matter what religion you have. It's not a massage physically. I would describe it more as a massage for the soul. It is energy work. And energy work is very subtle. It's non-invasive. It happens on a massage table or Reiki table, and you don't have to take your clothes off. How cool is that? You don't have to take your clothes off, and it is super, super relaxing. So let's get into who invented it. Let's think about energy healing for a second. It's hands-on healing. That's what Reiki is, the hands that are facilitating the healing. I'm going to explain to you the mechanics a little bit, but I wanted to tell you that hands-on healing has been around forever. It's just under different names. There's different methodologies, different names, different schools of hands-on healing and energy work, and none of them are better than another. They're all great, and Reiki is just one form. Who invented it? So Mikao Usui from Japan, he lived in the 1800s and early 1900s. And he was the one that taught and came up with this technique. He was very well traveled. He was from a good family, and he studied a variety of subject matters. So he was very well versed in all types of subject matters. He was actually looking for a method to teach his students to achieve connection with this universal life force that would help in self-development. So the true story, that's what Wikipedia says and the books say, but the story was that he had a business and it failed. And so he went on a retreat on Mount Kurama for 21 days, and he had all these visions because he wasn't eating and he wasn't taking care of his body. So he kind of had almost like a spiritual download of this technique. So instead of achieving enlightenment, he actually got downloaded a whole technique of energy healing. How cool is that? And the side effects are amazing, okay? And that's where the stress management comes in. What happens is that he is thought to have taught about 2,000 students, and then, some of those students taught to others and so forth. So what happened was that there were some principles to live by, and I'm not going to tell you about those because you could, if you're interested in learning Reiki, you can do that. And I recommend that you actually, research a Reiki master teacher that is, word of mouth is the best. And if you don't have a word of mouth, you don't know anybody that does Reiki, I highly recommend that you go into the International Association of Reiki Professionals. I leave a link below, and you can find a Reiki practitioner near you or a Reiki teacher. So what about stress? So the side effects that Usui and his students saw as they were applying this hands-on technique to promote self-development was that this energy work was extremely relaxing. It reduced stress tremendously. So many people started using Reiki for wellness, and it's not a cure for anything, but it may assist you to have a self-healing, because we're taught that we're our own healers. So the Reiki energy is just facilitating that process. It's a balancing energy. It's super relaxing. a lot of people fall asleep. I've put a lot of people to sleep, not in the way you think, but just sleep because they're in deep, deep relaxation. And before I started my journey into essential oils, I actually was a Reiki master teacher, and I've been teaching Reiki for, I would say, let's see, what are we talking about here? 14 years, I believe. So a little while. And it is an amazing tool. You can do Reiki on yourself. So that is the bonus, taking care of self. Then you facilitate that stress reduction, that relaxation, and allow someone else to help themselves with their own healing. So it's a really great technique. And speaking of stress, I actually did many videos about stress, but one that I'm going to mention to you right now was done with my own Reiki master, Dr. Kelley. And you can watch that right here. And it is how to deal with stress and crisis in pandemic times. So we're talking about extreme stress here. And because we love alternative healing techniques and methods and solutions, that is why we also started using the essential oils and a bunch of other methods for healing. So if you haven't done already and you're enjoying this, please subscribe right here, and don't forget to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. So one of the things about stress reduction can actually be observed. So if you hop on pubmed.gov, I'm going to link a study on Reiki that you can look at that was done on the effects of Reiki on work-related stress in registered nurses that were Reiki 1 participants. So Reiki 1 means that you've learned the first level of Reiki. What does that mean? It means you know how to do Reiki on yourself and others. That's like your Reiki 101. And that can only be taught by a Reiki master teacher. So check that out. It's really, really interesting because the results indicating that practicing Reiki more often resulted in reduced perceived stress levels. Stress is all in the head, right? So if you do things to yourself that are going to greatly reduce stress and you employ all these methods to do that, Reiki can be one of those methods, you're going to have stress reduction in your life. And managing stress is a good thing. Stress is not a bad thing by itself, but it needs to be managed. You want things balanced, and that's what Reiki does. It's an energy balancing technique. Another technique that you can use that I actually talked about for reducing stress levels with my own cousin Sandra, who is an EFT expert. You can watch that video right here, and that is how to reduce stress levels during pandemic times and beyond. So I did all these interviews about stress management at the time the pandemic started, and I find that they're really great resources for you to manage your stress. So please watch that. And if you want to use stress reduction essential oils, I also did a video right here on the top 8 essential oils for anxious feelings. So you may think, how often do I need Reiki? How often should I have Reiki? You should have Reiki as often as you want. If you are a Reiki 1 student, you can do it every day. You can do it multiple times a day. If you are someone that prefers to go to a Reiki practitioner to have Reiki done, you can do it different ways. You can do in presence, or you can actually schedule an appointment to do distance Reiki. Agreed time that both of you will be available, and energy travels. And so it's all about intention. You can definitely do it. I would recommend to start out to have one session. They're typically between 45 minutes and an hour and a half. I usually keep my sessions at 50 minutes and then the next 10 minutes, either at the beginning or at the end, to discuss, what is going to happen and what has happened. And I actually recommend that you get Reiki for the first time, and then in the space of 2 to 3 weeks, twice more. So give it 3 sessions and you will feel the effects. You really feel the effects of Reiki and how Reiki can really reduce your stress level. And it's something non-invasive. So if you have pains in your body, there's no manipulation, okay? So Reiki can be done without touch. Sometimes people like touching, other people don't like touching. So it really is up to you what you'd like. So that would be my recommendation. And the other recommendation is, after you have a Reiki session, you really need to drink a lot of fluids. And we're talking about water, not wine. Okay. So you want to make sure that you kind of detox, because it's kind of like an energy detox after you do a Reiki session. I hope you got major value from this video. I want you to do me a favor, okay? In the description, I have a free download of the 25 stress-reducing diffuser blends that you need. So if you're using essential oils, go check that out. It's a free download. And I want you to comment and let me know if you've ever had done Reiki. Please share with me, and I'll see you in the next video.